Thank you all for coming. And just had a couple of comments that we wanted to make on where we are in the budget process now. As you all know, this is really uncharted waters. As Chairman Putney has pointed out on the floor of the House, this has never happened before, where we basically don't have a budget until today. And through the efforts of the House, Chairman Putney, Delegate Cox, and the members of the Appropriations Committee, we've taken the lead in expediting the second round, if you will, budget negotiations. Yesterday, with the support of House Democrats, a unanimous effort, we were able to get a budget vehicle back into the legislative process. And I think it's especially important to note the bipartisan cooperation that enabled that to happen. That's been relatively underreported this session. The Republicans and Democrats today came together to waive the constitutional readings, and so we were able to pass out a second budget bill this afternoon. And it's on its way over to the Senate now. We hope that the Senate Democrats will act in a less obstructive way and we can do the people's business. At the beginning of the session, we in the House pledged to work with our Senate counterparts, and we remain committed to doing that. We are organized and we want to continue our collaboration with the Senate so that we can move quickly to reach an agreement on this very, very important budget. There's been a lot of discussion this session about some of the legislation that's gone through, but there's nothing that's more important to the people of Virginia than having a budget in place. And that's what we're here to discuss, and that's what we're here to try and solve. I'm going to turn the program over to Senator Norman at this point.
Excuse me, Speaker. Thank you all very much for hanging around on Friday afternoon. I want to thank Speaker Howell, Delegate Cox, and of course Chairman Putney for really the incredible effort that they have made in working cooperatively for advancing the budget process. I think that the early discussions between the House and Senate on the budget has been unparalleled. Chairman Putney and Chairman Stosh and their respective staffs have been working very, very diligently to put together, I think, what are two exceptional budgets. There are always areas that we have to have discussion on, but there are many areas of commonality that we enjoy this year, and we have been attempting to discuss those differences very early on to expedite a cooperative process. Regretfully, as Mr. Speaker pointed out, that while three of the groups in the legislative body are in agreement and trying to advance a budget, that our friends of the Democratic senators have been very resistant. And the ball is literally in their court. The House has done its job once again, and I applaud the House of Delegates for the bipartisanship that they have demonstrated today. And that bipartisanship reflects at least a recognition by that entire body of the importance of advancing the budget. And of course, in the absence of having a budget as a vehicle to discuss, there's very little to discuss. And so I think that the House has shown some real insight and some bipartisan cooperation. As we have said on the Senate before, we are prepared at morning, noon, or night to have any meaningful discussions with the Democrat senators on budget proposals that they would like. As of this date, we have had 4 opportunities to discuss budget bills, and the Senate Democrats regretfully have not offered one amendment to those budgets. They have just voted no. So we look forward to starting out next week. The House bill, budget bill, will be coming over, for which we're very appreciative of what the House has done, and hopefully after some of our Senate friends have had the opportunity to go home for the weekend and listen to their constituents and perhaps the rhetoric being scaled down a little bit, we can start a meaningful discussion on how to put together the most important piece of legislation that this General Assembly deals with. So once again, I'm most appreciative of the collaboration and the support support that we've enjoyed from the House of Delegates. And with that, Senator Stosh, I believe.
So thank you. A couple added thoughts. Delegate Putney and Delegate Cox and I started early in the process to talk about how we could expedite our discussions and expedite budget. So we set about a schedule that was designed to allow us to complete our work on time and to complete quality work. We've been very fortunate to have had significant cooperation, notwithstanding where we are on the budget, with Chairman Putney and his staff and the Senate Finance staff have been working together along with our subcommittee chairs. We've not been able to appoint conferees in the Senate because we do not have a budget over which to appoint conferees. We've had an unprecedented level, I think, of cooperation between our staff members. They've been working together closely and trying to identify areas of reconciliation and agreement. So we are positioned so that we can come together quickly, I believe, if we were given that opportunity. When the House budget arrives in the Senate next week, we'll take it up as promptly as we can in the Senate Finance Committee and expedite it as quickly as we can. And hopefully, when we come together, it's our hope and expectation that our Democrat colleagues will make known their specific priorities. We've heard a great deal about, through their votes, disappointment and disagreement, but nothing has come forward. We will extend that invitation again to offer specific recommendations and priorities so that we can deal with those, but we'll also ask them how they can pay for them. It's not just a matter of saying we want this and want that without having some way to fund it. Absent any such specifics from the other side, or an indication that at least one or more members is prepared to vote for a budget, and we place localities in dire straits. They have to adopt their budgets by May 1st, and as you all know, those budgets provide the necessary funding for police and fire and teachers and a whole host of people who are dependent on local budgets, which in turn is dependent on our budget. So we're going to do everything we can to continue to work collaboratively with our House friends. They're standing here with us now, and also invite our Democrat colleagues in the Senate to come forward with their proposals so we can move forward.
Lacey Putney now, Chairman of our Appropriations Committee.
Good afternoon. I'm going to be brief. I'm not going to keep you as long as Henry VIII did some of his wives. I want to take just a minute to thank you all for coming and to thank all of the members of my committee. Vice Chairman is standing right here, a great leader. Steve Landis, they're one of our conferees and should be up here because he contributed greatly. From day one, we met with our counterparts in the Senate and talked about working together. We had also talked about bipartisan actions and procedures to fashion this budget. I think from what you have seen the last few days, including yesterday and today, that bipartisan cooperation that we've enjoyed in our committee. We've had the leadership of the Speaker with us as we go along also, and we appreciate it. But I don't know how you could have better, more friendly discussions and debate between the two parties than we have had in the House of Delegates. We had briefings in small groups. We had Democrats and Republicans. Everyone was given a review of the governor's budget and what we were proposing, what we would like to be doing with regard to that budget. I regret that it has taken us this long because the clock is running. We don't have many days left under the procedural resolution, and we got to get out of here. But it is my hope that our willingness and our effort on the House side to give it one more good shot, which we have just done with unanimous consent, plus waived in a constitutional reading, which was uncertain, I can tell you, earlier in this day, but we appreciate the cooperation from the other side on this. No item that we deal with is as significant and important to the people who sent us here than the adoption of a budget to operate the Commonwealth of Virginia and do what we're supposed to do with core services and all of the issues that come before it. I believe that this one step that we just completed in the House is a giant step toward getting to the important point of conference committee meetings. I'm sure the Senate will have the conferees appointed shortly, and it is my hope that they're going to see a different mindset from the other side of the aisle in the Senate than we've seen so far. I don't want to get into that battle, but I am proud of what we have accomplished on our side in a bipartisan fashion, and I think we have sent our colleagues at the other end of the building a good, balanced budget, and I hope that they're going to be moving forward and we'll be scheduling conference committee very shortly.